Hello and welcome to our first lecture, which is about an international industry. So let's start with number one. Study the map and discuss the questions. So let's check for the map and the names of continents, and then we start with discussing the questions from 1 to 4. So if you look at the map, we find a lot of different names. For example, if we start from the left, so that's North America. Then we find here South America, Europe, Africa, Middle East. So that if we talk about Middle East, it's in Asia and Africa. And the other one is Asia, and the last one is Australia. So for question number one, where is your country on the map? So for here, our country is Libya. It's in North Africa. Question number two, which regions are these countries in? So we talk about the region. What's continent? We start with Algeria. Where is Algeria? Algeria is in Africa. B. Brazil. Where is Brazil? Brazil is in South America. C. Canada. Canada is in North America. D. Kazakhstan. Where is Kazakhstan? Kazakhstan is in Asia. E. Malaysia. Where is Malaysia? Malaysia is in Asia. Yes. F. Where's the UAE, United Arabian of Emirates? So where is it? It's in Asia too. G. The UK. Where is the UK? It's in North America. The last one, where is sorry. So for the UK, it's in Europe. The UK is in Europe. H. The USA is in North America. Now let's go to question 3. Can you name 10 more oil producing countries? The countries that produce oil. So let's check if we know more 10 countries. So can you name them? I let you or I give you some time to think about this. So just 10 more countries that can produce oil. So so let's count them. So for me, I can say China, Iraq, Italy, Kuwait, Libya, Mexico, Nigeria, Russia, Saudi Arabia, Venezuela. Yeah, these are, and we have more than. Number 4. Do you know the words to describe the nationalities for those countries? Yeah, so what about the nationality? Look at the example here. An Algerian worker, that's the nationality. Algeria, the nationality is Algerian worker. Another example, a Brazilian oil company. So Brazil, so that's the country. The nationality is Brazilian. Now let's check for the others. Algeria, Algerian. Brazil, Brazilian. Canada. So a Canadian company, for example. Kazakhstan. A Kazakhstani worker. What about Malaysia? Malaysian industry, for example. F, the UAE. Emirati. G, the UK. English. H, the USA. The nationality is American, an American company or an American worker. Number 2. Read the sentences about the UK. Make sentences about your country. So let's start this information about the UK. Number 1. There is a big oil and gas industry in the UK. Number 2. There are oil fields and gas fields. Number 3. There are many offshore wells. Number 4. They are in the north and the east. Number 5. There are not many onshore fields. Number 6. There is a big onshore field in the south. Before we start talking about Libya, our country, so let's check for what does onshore and offshore what does they mean. So look at the diagram above and check for the pump jacks, and you have here onshore and offshore wells. So if you check the diagram, you find here the green area, it's on land. That's why we call it onshore. So onshore means wells that are on land. Offshore are wells that are on water. So that's the only difference between onshore and offshore. So let's talk about Libya here. For example, we start with number 1. There is a big oil and gas industry in Libya. Yes, that's right. Number 2. There are oil fields and gas fields. Are there oil fields and gas fields in Libya? Yes, there are oil fields and gas fields in Libya. 3. There are many offshore wells. So here in Libya, we have many onshore fields or wells here in Libya. We have also offshore wells, okay, so as well. Number 4. There are in the north and the east. So here in Libya, most of the wells are in the south. Number 6. There is a big onshore field in the south. So here in Libya there are big onshores in the south. So it's a little bit different from the UK. And let's go to It's My Job. Khalid Saleh is a technician in a big oil company. Where is he now? Listen and take the correct answer or the correct box. Is he in the USA or the UAE? Is he on plant? Is he inside or outside? Is he in the control room? So let's read the information and then we discuss these together. I'm gonna read this one for you. Hi, my name is Khalid. I'm from the UAE. That's the United Arab Emirates. I'm a technician with an oil company here. I like my job because every day is different. Today I'm in a team of 5 technicians. at a new plant. One man is inside in the control room and I'm outside with the other 3 men. One man is from the US and 2 are from India. We're from different countries, but we all speak English. We use radios to speak to the man in the control room. Most people in the company are Emiratis or Emirati, but there are many other nationalities too: American, British, Canadian, Egyptian, Indian, and many more. I like meeting foreign people and practicing my English. So let's go back to question number 1. So where is he now? If you say USA, no. UAE, yes, with a tick. He is on plant, yes, with a tick. Inside, no. Outside, yes. Control room, no. So if we answer to this question, where is he now, we can say he is in the UAE, he is on plant, he is outside. Let's go to question number 2. Read the questions, then listen again and answer them. So we read it again. I give you some time to read it and then we discuss the questions together. So let's start reading it again. I give you 2 minutes to finish this and then we're gonna do the questions together. Now let's start. Question number 1. Why does he like his job? Why does he like his job? The answer is because every day is different. Because every day is different. Number 2. Is he inside or outside today? The answer, today he is outside. Number 3. How many technicians are in the team? How many technicians are in the team? The answer is 5 technicians. Number 4. How many men are outside with him? How many men are outside with him? The answer is 3. 3. Number 5. Where are they from? Where are they from? The answer is 1 is from the USA and 2 are from India. Number 6. How do they speak to the control room? How do they speak to the control room? The answer is they use radios. They use radios. Number 7, the last question. What nationalities are there in the company? What nationalities are there in the company? The answer is Emirati, American, British, Canadian, Egyptian, Indian, and many more. Okay, so that's the end of question number 2. Number talk from 1 to 199. Number 1. Count 1 to 25 around the class. That's easy if we talk about numbers, the small numbers. So we can count from 1 to 25. So let's start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 18, 19, 20, 21, 24, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Number 2. Count in tens. 10, 20, 30, etc. to 90. So let's start with 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Okay, and so on. Number 3. Study the information and say the numbers. How to say numbers? Telephone and reference numbers. So that's the same. So let's start with the first number is if we say 0 or 0, 1, 2, 3, 8. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 8. O, we can say O or 0. Quantities. 13. So that's 13. 30, 30, 33, 33. 100 or 100. We can say 100 or 100. 101 or 101. So let's start with the conversations. Listen to 4 conversations. Number the pictures. So we're gonna read the 4 conversations instead of listening, and then we make and say which number is number 1, which number is number 2, and so on. Let's read the conversations first, and then we go back to question number 1. Here we have symbols. If we say T for technician, E1 for employee 1, E2 for employee 2, S for storekeeper. Let's start with conversation 1. T for technician. Excuse me, E1, employee 1. Yes? T. Where's the store? I'm not sure. I think it's over there, in building 2. Okay, thanks. Conversation 2. Excuse me. Hi. Where's the store? It's over there, room 103. Thanks. Conversation 3. Can I help you? Yeah, I need 16 of these poles. Sorry? 16 of these poles. Do you know the part number? BV3764. Could you say that again, please? BV3764. Is that BV or BV? PV3764. Okay, I need your employee number. That's 0725. 0725. Okay. Conversation 4. There aren't any there, but I can get some from the main store. Can you call me in half an hour? Sure. That's the number. 784552. 78452. No, 522. 784522. Okay, I'll call you later. Right. So let's go back to number 1. Look at the 4 conversations. Number the pictures. Okay, if we start with the conversations, if we say here A A is number or is conversation 3. So say, can I help you? Yeah, I need 16 of these bolts. So A, picture A is conversation 3. Picture B is conversation 4. So let's start with conversation 4. There aren't any there, but I can get some from the main store. Can you call me in half an hour? Sure, what's your number? That's 78478. So you can see the picture. Picture C is number 1. Excuse me, yes, where's the store? I'm not sure. I think it's over there in the building or in building 2. Okay, thanks. So picture C is conversation 1. The last one is D. Normally is conversation 2. So D takes conversation 2. So let's read it. Excuse me, hi. Where's the store? It's over there. Room 103. Thanks. Vocabulary. Tools and hardware. Which of these do you have at home? So we normally have these types of gadgets or equipments in our houses. So we need to use them every day in our life. So can you just name the things that you have in your home? For example, for me, I have a screwdriver, I have a wrench, I have an electric drill, I have a spanner, I have some screws, and I have even here, if you say, nuts and bolts, and some washers. So all of them, okay, I have at my house. What about you? Do you have screwdrivers? Do you have wrenches? Do you have screws or bolts or nuts, spanners? Do you have an electric drill at home? Do you have washers? So let's name these again, and then we start with exercise 2. A screwdriver. B, screws. C, a spanner. D, nuts. E, a washer. A wrench. F, a bolt. G, an electric drill. H, washers. Number 2. Practice this conversation. A. What's this in English? B. It's a screwdriver. A. What are these? B. They're washers. So we can practice this one. You can ask about things. For example, if say, what's this in English? If we talk about picture A, what's this in English? It's a screwdriver. Let's go to picture E. What's that in English? It's a wrench. B. What are these? What are these in English? They're screws. F. What is it in English? It's a bolt. C. What is it in English? It's a spanner. J. What is it in English? It's an electric drill. Picture D. What are these? Or what are they? They're nuts. H. What are they in English? Okay, so what are they? What are these? Or what are they? The answer is they're washers. They're washers. Checking. Look and listen. Then practice the conversations in pairs. What's in the books? B. There are some poles. How many? 20. Good. What's the part number? BD790. A. What's that number again? BD790. A. The list says PD798. They're the wrong poles. You can practice this conversation. You can change the numbers. You can work with your partner and do the same and change the things, change the numbers. Now let's go directly to reading. Employers. Read about the UK. Is your country similar or different? Write S, similar, D, different, or I don't know on the right. So let's get some information about the UK, employers in the UK, and check for the information if it's similar to our country here in Libya or different. So let's start reading first and then we decide the information. Employers in the UK. Some countries have a national oil company, NOC, but there isn't an NOC in the UK. There are 3 other kinds of employers. So in the UK, there aren't NOC companies, national oil companies. So here in Libya, we have a lot of national oil companies work here in Libya. So if we write same S or different D, so here we can write D for different. 1. Operating companies. These are IOCs, International Oil Companies, with famous names like Shell, Aramco, and ExxonMobil. I'm sorry if the pronunciation is wrong. They operate the wells and plants. There are similar operating companies too. So I think that's here the same with information in Libya. We have service companies, we have different operating companies. They are from different kinds of the world. What about number 2? Drilling companies. The operating companies usually employ drilling companies for drilling wells. Some are foreign companies. Is that similar or different? I think that's similar to Libya here. Number 3. Service companies supply equipment and technical services to the other companies. They also do special work such as underwater work. There are a lot of service companies. So do have the same here, a lot of service company here in Libya and work even here underwater or has got underwater work. Yes, I think that's the same here in Libya. You can find a job with all these companies in newspapers, government job centers, and on the internet. Yes, there are a lot of jobs or job sites in the national companies here in Libya, and they ask for employees. Yeah, I think that's here the same in Libya, but I'm not sure if there are some on the internet. Writing. Completing a form. Number 1. Read the information, then write the dates in number form. Writing dates. On forms, we usually write dates like this: 14/6/2010. 14 is the day, 6 is the month, 2010 is the year. Or 14/6/10. 14 is the day, 6 is the month, and 10 is the year. Or 14/6/2010. So we have three different, or 14/6/10. So we have four different types of writing of the dates. In American English, the month comes first, 6/14/2010. So there is difference in between British English and American English. So for British English, they start with the day and then a month and then the year. In American English, they start with the month, then day, then year. So both are correct if you write the date. Number 1, 4th February this year. 4th February this year. We can write here 4/2/2021. 4/2/2021. Number 2, 17th November last year. So that's here. November is 12. So say 17/12 last year, 2020. 17/12/2020. Sorry. Okay, that's 11. 17/11/2020. That's 17th of November 2020. Number 2, you're starting a new job today. You're a fire officer in the fire and safety department. Listen to your manager and complete the form. So I haven't got the listening, and just we need to complete the form without listening. So that's here filling a form. If you have a form like this, you can complete it with your information, not the others' information. Remember, names, titles, and nationalities begin with a capital letter. So if we write a name, if we write a title, for example, a name, Nasser, Ali, Khalid, we start, the first letter is a capital letter. Titles we mean here by titles, Mr., Mrs. For example, we start with Mr. M.R., that's M capital letter, Mrs. M capital letter, Doctor, Dr., D capital letter. These are the titles. And nationalities, for example, Libyan, start with the capital letter, American, A capital letter. Every nationality, for example, English, E capital letter, begin with a capital letter. International Oil Company. First name, for example, first name. What's your first name? The first name. For example, here, I am Nasser Ali. So Nasser is my first name. Ali is my family name. So the first name is your name. The family name is your family name. For example, let's say Nasser Ali. So Ali is my family name, my surname, for example. First name, Nasser or Ahmed or Khalid. Family name, Ali. Any other family names. Employee, no, that's your number. That's your number. Every employee has got a number, special number for him. For example, my number is 1473, for example, 1473. Manager. Who is the manager? Who is the manager of the company? Department. What department are you? Are you a safety department, maintenance department, operation department? So what department are you in? Job title. So what's your job? A mechanic, technician, engineer, teacher. So that's a job title. Nationality. What nationality are you? So for example, I'm Libyan, I'm Italian. Date of birth. We start with the date of birth. For example, day, month, year. So we talk about birthday. When is your birthday? We start with the day, the month, and the year. Telephone number. Telephone now. What's your telephone number? Telephone number, for example, 092773. Okay, and gone, so on. Email. What's your email address? nasa.ali@yahoo.com or at gmail.com. Signature. Okay, your signature here, and your the date of the filling of this, or filling in this form. What's the date today? Day, month, and year. Keywords. We start with adjectives. These are the words that we studied in that unit, or in this unit, or this period. So we start with foreign. What's the meaning of foreign? Foreign is a person who is not from the country. He's from outside the country. International. International is from all over the world. Offshore is the wells that are on water. Onshore are the wells that are on land. Nouns. Control room. The control room is inside. Somebody who works inside and controls, works in the control room. Drilling company. Drilling companies are the companies that drill, or making the drill operation. Oil field. That's oil field. And gas field. It's okay, the place where can we get oil. Oil well. It's the hole that's in, and we get oil out of it. And service company. The service company that brings and everything to the other companies. Okay. Technician is the person. Technician is the person who works as a technician. Verbs. Operate, supply, and look back through this unit. Find 5 more words or expressions that you think that are useful. Unit 2. Upstream. Before we start our lesson about upstream and downstream sectors, let's have some information about them. So the industry is divided into 2 sectors, upstream and downstream. The upstream sector is concerned with the exploration of crude oil and natural gas. The downstream sector converts them to useful products at refineries, and is also concerned with storage, distribution, sales, and marketing. And this is the some information about upstream and downstream sectors. Let's start with the kickoff. Read the information, match the bold words with the explanations 1 to 6. Number 1. petrol, gasoline, and diesel oil, for example. So we're gonna read this text and find the bold words that goes with the definitions. Number 2, oil under the ground, usually dark brown. Number 3, bring out or make. Number 4, parts of an industry. Number 5, the part that gets oil and gas out of the ground. Number 6, the part that makes and sells useful products. Now let's read the information and then we do the definitions together. Upstream and downstream. The oil and gas industry has two sectors, the upstream sector and the downstream sector. Workers in the upstream sector find and produce crude oil and gas. Workers in the downstream sector produce useful things from crude oil, like fuel for cars and planes. How do oil companies find oil and gas? The first step is exploration. Scientists study rocks and do scientific tests. They look for rocks that can hold hydrocarbons. What are hydrocarbons? Oil and gas are made of hydrocarbon H and carbon C, so we call them hydrocarbons. Do scientists find hydrocarbons? No, they don't. They choose a good place for the next step, drilling. Drillers drill a well, and they sometimes find hydrocarbons. Does production start immediately after drilling? No, first the company does more tests and asks how much oil is there and are there any problems. If the results of the tests are good, they go to the next step, development. What does development mean? It means they prepare for production. For example, they build a pipeline to transport the oil. How long does development take? From a few weeks to many years. Then production starts. Crude oil and or gas flow from the well and along the pipeline. Now let's check for the bold words. For the first one is sectors. Or we start with number 1, petrol, gasoline, and diesel oil, for example. So what are these here? Petrol, gasoline, and diesel oil, for example. So the answer is fuel. They are fuel. Number 2, oil under the ground, usually dark brown. Oil under the ground, usually dark brown. That's crude oil. Number 3, bring out or make. Bring out or make. What does that mean? Can you find it here in the text? So that means produce. Number 4, parts of an industry. Parts of an industry. The answer is sectors. Number 5, the part that gets oil and gas out of the ground. The part that gets oil and gas out of the ground. So we discuss this together and we find the information here. Is it upstream or downstream? It's upstream. Number 6. The part that makes and sells useful products. That's normally is it's downstream. Downstream. Let's go to exercise 2. Answer these questions about the text. Let's read the questions together and try to read again and find the answers or find the right information to each question. Now let's start with number 1. What do scientists try to find? What do scientists try to find? So can you find it here in the text? The answer is they try to find rocks that can hold hydrocarbons. So they try to find rocks that can hold hydrocarbons. Number 2. Do drillers always find hydrocarbons? Do they always find hydrocarbons? The answer is no, they don't. Number 3. What do companies do before development or developments? What do companies do before development? So the answer is they do more tests and ask how much oil is there and are there any problems. So I'll say that again. They do more tests and ask how much oil is there and are there any problems. Question number 4. Why do they build pipelines? Why do they build pipelines? So pipelines are for what? To transport the oil. To transport the oil from place to place. Number 5. Which words mean? A. Difficulties. So we find it in the texts here. Difficulties mean, we have here P and R. Problems. Problems. B. Carry to another place. Carry to another place. Can you find the word that means the same? Transport. Transport. C. Move continuously. Move continuously. So the answer is flow. Flow. It's my job. Steve Dominted tests wells before production starts. He answers questions like, what's in with the oil, water, gas, or sand? How fast does the oil flow up from the well? So in this conversation he answered these questions, and we're gonna read the information or read the conversations and try to find these answers. How fast does the oil flow up from the well? Give your opinions. Does he need to? 1. Be fit. 2. Be careful. 3. Be good with numbers. Number 4. Use a computer. So all of these things are very important for jobs like these, but we're not sure if for his job if he needs all of these things or not. So we're gonna read the interview and then find the answers. Let's go directly to number 2. Study this information, then listen and complete it. So let's check for the information about Steve, a company, Canadian oil company. B, job, a well test operator. C, location, different places in where. D, a typical day, prepare what, equipment, do what, and record. Spaces 4 and 5. E, hours per day, how many hours per day does he work. If, start and finish, okay, finish time, start time, start time and finish time. G, good things, working what and seeing what. For H, we start with the skills. Now let's read the interview and then complete this information about Steve. I for interviewer and S for Steve. Who do you work for, Steve? I work for Canadian oil company. What's your job? I am a well test operator. And where do you work? I work in lots of different places all over Canada. Lots of different places. Yeah. The company has oil wells and over the country. All over the country. We go to an oil well for a few days or maybe a few weeks. Then we move on to a different well. Who are we? Do you work in a team? Yeah. A well testing crew has 3 people, a supervisor, an operator, and an assistant operator. At first, I was an assistant operator. Now I am operator, or I am an operator. I see. What do you do on a typical day? Well, usually we do tests on new wells. First, we prepare the test equipment. Some of it's heavy equipment, so it's hard work. Then we do tests, a lot of different tests, and record data on computer. How many hours do you work? Do you mean hours per day? Yes. We work 12 hours a day. 12 hours. When do you start and finish? We start at 7 a.m. and finish at 7 p.m. It's a long day, but it's okay. I like the job. Why do you like the job? I like working outside and I like seeing different places. So it's a great job for me. One last question. What a skill or what skills do you need for this job? Well, it's hard work. So you need to be fit. Yeah. And you need to be good with numbers. And you need to be careful. I mean careful about safety and careful reading numbers and recording them. Now let's complete the form from this interview. Let's start with the first one. A. Company, a Canadian oil company. B. Job, a well test operator. C. Location, different places in where? In Canada. D. A typical day, prepare, test, okay, prepare, test equipments, do tests, and record what? Data. record data. E, hours per day or hours per day, 12 hours. 12 hours. Start and finish 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. J, good things. Working outside, this is for number 7. Seeing different places. Seeing different places. What about the skills? Be fit, be good with numbers. Be fit and be good with numbers. Now let's go to number 3. Look at A to H in 2. What was the question for each one? Example, a company. Who do you work for? So let's start with the job for B. What's the question? What's your job? What's your job? C, location. Where do you work? Where do you work? D, a typical day. What do you do on a typical day? What do you do on a typical day? E, hours per day. How many hours do you work per day? How many hours do you work per day? G, things. When do you start and finish work? That's here for here. That's a G. What are the good things about your job? What are the good things about your job? H, the skills, or the question about the skills. What skills do you need for this job? What skills do you need for this job? Now let's go to vocabulary. Some upstream jobs. Match the jobs with the descriptions. Which jobs are in pictures in the unit? So if we start for the jobs, 1, a crane operator. What does the crane operator do? Can you find it here? So that's E. Operates a machine for lifting and moving heavy things. Number 2, driller. Driller. Is that C? Supervises a drilling crew. Supervises a drilling crew. Number 3, geologist. Geologist. It's A. Studies rocks. Studies rocks. Number 4, geotechnician. Geotechnician. So what does a geotechnician do? So that's B. Operates equipment to help geologists. That's B. Operates equipment to help geologists. Number 5, maintenance technician. Maintenance technician. Is that a G? Services and repairs machines and equipments. Services and repairs machines and equipments. Now pipe fitter. Pipe fitter. Pipe fitter fits pipes to make a pipeline. That's F. Fits pipes to make a pipeline. Number 7, production operator. Production operator. Is that H? Checks and operates production equipment. checks and operates production equipment. The last one, 8, roughneck. What does roughneck do? The answer is works in a drilling crew under the driller's supervision. Works in a drilling crew under the driller's supervision. Speaking. Talking about jobs. Number 1. Work in pairs. Student A, go to page, so we don't need to go to page 106 because we have the information here in this page. Student B answers student A's questions about Igor Kinski. Then ask about Andrea Farrell and complete the information. So we have two pictures of Igor Kinski, Andrea Farrell. So let's read the information about them. So for Igor, company, a Russian oil company, job driller, where Kazakhstan, a typical day, supervises the drilling crew. It means he is a driller. Hours per day, 12 hours. Start and finish 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. like good money. What about Andrea Farewell, company, British Oil Company, job helicopter pilot, where Aberdeen, Scotland. A typical day, take men and equipment to offshore platforms. Hours per day, 12 hours maximum. Start and finish usually 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. like flying helicopters. So this is the information about both of them, Igor and Andrea. So let's go directly to number 2. Student A, tell the class about Igor. Student B, tell the class about Andrea. So look at the example. Igor Kinski works for he is on a typical day. He works hours he likes. So let's do this together. So we start with the Igor. Igor works in a Russian or works for a Russian oil company. Works for a Russian oil company. He is a driller. He is a driller. He works in Kazakhstan. In his typical day, he supervises the drilling crew. He works 12 hours per day. He starts work at 7 a.m. and finishes at 7 p.m. In his job, he likes good money. Now let's go to Andrea. Andrea works for a British oil company. He is a helicopter pilot. He works in Aberdeen in Scotland. In his typical day, he takes men and equipment to offshore platforms. He works 12 hours maximum per day. He starts work usually at 7 and he finishes work at 7. So he works from 7 to 7. In his job, he likes flying helicopters. So I'm not sure if Andrea is a man or a woman, but I think she's a woman, so that's use she. She is she works for a British oil company, and she is a helicopter pilot. Yeah, I think she is a woman because that's Andrea. Andrea is the name of a woman. Now let's go to number talk. Measuring oil and gas. Read the information and say the examples. We can measure oil and gas in cubic meters, M3. Example. This field produces 100,000 cubic meters of gas per day, M3D. We use letters, so that's L, for small quantities. That's short form. Yeah, if we say letters and abbreviation is L, so it's letters. 1 meter or 1 millimeter, sorry, 1 cubic meter, 1000 liter. Example, oil flows through the pipe at 10 liters per second. So LS. US barrels, PBL. So okay, in UK, so use letters. In the USA, use barrels. Barrels, PBL, is another common measure. 1 barrel, it means 100 or 159 liters. Example, this field produces 600,000 barrels of oil per day. BBL, D, or BPD. Number 2, say these numbers. A, 100 liters. B, 50 barrels. C, 170 cubic meters. D, 12 liters per second. E, 28 cubic meters per hour. How to say long numbers or large numbers? Read and say the numbers. So the first one, 209, 380, 3,000, 4,444, 500,000, 560,000, 6 million, 7 billion, because that's here 9 zeros, 369 9 zeros.